Smash? Smash with Hangman and Ubisoft. We're going into there's a Luigi, there's a Yoshi. The Luigi's doing the things. Okay, we're going right into it. We are blazing hot as we start top 8, I suppose.
Yeah, no rest for the wicked. Here we are.
So yes, Z- and StudZ are going to be starting off our winter semifinals here as we're thrown into lots of damage. It is to be expected. Both of these characters are combo fiends, although Yoshi can pilot the skies a little bit more effectively to avoid Luigi, and Luigi loves to play the game as the floor is lava.
Yeah, Luigi being such a grapple-based character can give Yoshi an actual odd benefit, as we see that jab walk coming through a really clutch for StudZ. The frame 1 double jump armor can make it so that Z- has to be 100% perfect with all of his combos, or else suddenly he's in a little bit of end lag and Yoshi's in his favorite place in the game, in the air. So
also, a fun little caveat about Yoshi, and just like a particular chagrin for when you have to deal with a grappler playing against Yoshi, because of the unique nature of his shield, you're not shield poking Yoshi. Like, none of your shield pressure actually matters. Like, Yoshi's always going to have its out. So, like, Z- can't even leverage that to try and shark out Bears or Tornado.
Yeah, and as Z- is, as we've seen in previous weeks, one of the most pressure-based players, and especially a pressure-based Luigi player, it can be kind of hard for him to. It will be kind of hard for him to adapt around how Yoshi plays, since it is a whole lot different than a lot of the cast. As StudZ is doing a great job of finding these kills, whether it be spot dodge reads or jab lock confirms. He's not letting any single mistake come out from Z- go unpunished.
Yeah, man, Z- is going to have to adapt fast if he's looking to catch on, because he hasn't even taken this first stock off yet. Meanwhile, I like how StudZ like hovers around in the air using the first throw of egg. Like, you get depreciating returns on how long you hover, but just keeping yourself in the air to try and respond made that first stock last out a good while. It wasn't until 180 where down smash finally did it. But let's see, StudZ doesn't seem to be slowing down at all.
Keeping up the pressure and against a character that you know can even things up in one grab, it can be kind of intimidating to face, but once you know how to punish where Luigi's weak, then suddenly the matchup starts to fall into place. As the frame 1 invincible down beak saving his bacon.
Yeah, you gotta use everything you got in a situation like this.
Okay, yeah.
But there's all okay. Very clean game 1 from StudZ.
Yeah, he seemed to pick apart where Z- was starting to fumble pretty effectively, and if there's anything that you should know immediately about the Luigi matchup, it's SDI, don't get grabbed, SDI well, and try and edge guard them. And he did all three very well.
Well, moving on into game 2, I don't really know what Z- could do outside of maybe play a lot more patiently. Like, he started fishing around with the Zair for the plunger projectile, which is respectable, just so you can get your hit confirmed, go into your combos and whatnot. But I feel like waiting to punish poor landings from Yoshi is like the name of the game here, whether or not you're just getting your hit or if you're getting a grab. Like, you need to wait for Yoshi to come out of the air before you get anything going, because Yoshi has way too many options when he's flying about.
Yeah, you kind of need to punish Yoshi in very niche situations. Taking advantage of the fact that his double jump makes it so he can't grab a ledge can make ledge trapping him a little bit more linear, or a little bit more his ledge get off ledge options a little bit more obvious. That being said, StudZ has seemed like he's not in any position to put himself off stage unless he wants to, and initiating a situation is a lot more beneficial than simply falling into one.
Yeah, no, StudZ seems to be pretty, like, chill, all things considered. Like, he's keeping a really specific distance. He's, like, just shy of half stage distance from Z-. So Z- has no effective burst range. And it's only when the smash attacks start spamming out where Z- is really starting to have any type of leverage here. And even then, it's just keeping, like, it's keeping the damage race just barely tight.
Okay, I thought he was going to go harder for that first stock, but... That should be it, if I know how Luigi plays. Great DI. I thought he caught him with the double mix-up of not doing the back throw, instead catching with the down throw, but he still managed to DI the Cyclone right.
Is he coming back? Does he? No, he doesn't have a jump. He's gone. Okay. Alright, now I'm curious to see why Z minus brought us back here, because I feel like the presence of the platforms is giving StudZ a lot of. He has a lot of choice in landing, and even then, I feel like the specific layout of the plats is working out super well for Yoshi.
It makes it. I kind of always attribute Luigi as a more flat stage kind of character. He wants to see stages like FD in town. While we don't know the bands, something like Small Battlefield, given how it's, well, small and relatively flat with these platforms closer to the ground, can make it so Luigi can pressure everyone on the stage a lot quicker than normal. It's a solid SDI up and out mashing jump. But because its biplat layout, it gives a lot of room for Yoshi to utilize this center stage air game as opposed to interacting with Z minus on the ground.
You know, the amount of
Oh my
times
god!
that Yoshi's flutter jump armor has come in clutch for StudZ just in these two stocks alone is insane. But good DI can't help him out of that one. Xenon is finally going to take a lead here.
Let's see what he can do with it. It's Luigi like snowballs incredibly well, as we see 50 damage in what was one grab and one read. A double jump armor is.
Ooh, hold on. Alright, a little too early to call in the dramatic finish there, but dangerous situation for StudZ now because he's eaten a ton of damage before he's had an opportunity to ace out the stock.
StudZ is like, he needs to almost slow down his gameplay a little bit because Z minus has found a lot of success in dashing up and shielding, and is that, yeah, that's just gonna do it. Cuts the air dodge.
Alright, a swift recovery from Z minus brings us to the 1-1 count.
I don't think we. Do you think we just run it right back to Small Battlefield? Like, it's been a two stock either care for both players.
I feel like StudZ played the stage really well in spite of it being a strong stage for Luigi, but I feel like if he's going to try to make the most of the Game 3 situation, he's going to want to give himself a bit more space. Because I feel like Luigi's just always going to be able to box, he'll always have burst options. Like, you always have to watch out for the up B, you always have to watch out for the tornado, and then any stray hit can lead into a potential combo, as Z- managed to show really well in the last two stocks of that previous game. You know, one thing I've always wondered, though, and I really wish I could find the answer for this, why does every Wi-Fi Luigi use the same color?
You know?
Well, it's always the same one, dude. I know it has no bearing on, like, the mechanics of the match, but come on!
It's the best aesthetically, I guess. Like, it's the dark green. The dark green's a nice one. That jean blue. Like, it's nice. It's also the elegant color, but I feel like if you have a prominent player of one color, you try and use a different one. And, you know, Fire Luigi is pretty solid, but
that's what I'm saying. But either way, we're on Stadium. This was exactly the kind of stage I was expecting StudZ to bring us to. Really good stage for Yoshi overall. Gives him the opportunity to play aggro or, like, play super passively if he wants to. Because between decent ground and airspeed, like, he's going to be able to chase you down. Or he could just litter the sky with retreating aerials and eggs, and then you just sort of have to hold that.
Yeah, I always see this attributed as one of, if not Yoshi's, definitive best stage. Oh, got him with the DI mix-up. Luigi has so many ways to kill you just off the jump. All of them almost out of grab or nair. And grab can lead into nair, so it's pretty fun. A walking minefield, but the same can be said for Yoshi. Like, a lot of his ledge setups especially can lead to that insanely powerful forward air spike.
Yeah, even though, like, Luigi's Nair is quite infamous in its own right for what the character can do leading into it and out of it, let's not forget what Yoshi's Nair is capable of. We've already seen it act as an edgeguard tool and kill closer for StudZ.
Yeah, these aggressive landings coming out from StudZ is not something I would advise. As Z minus is clutching on, he's putting his boots on the ground and throwing that head around as a anti-airing with up smash incredibly well and often. Look at him just dashing across the floor, not jumping unless he's trying to go for a platform read or anything else.
I mean, Luigi in general wants to try and keep his boots on the ground. It's where he's going to be able to get most of his pressure and has more reliable tools. As for StudZ, like landing with Nair, like you mentioned, has just not been working out with him. So I guess sharking around for anything to lead into up air, forward tilt being like the key. Or even down tilt. I've noticed that StudZ like sharking around with down tilt, trying to catch a missed tech.
And I think down tilt is entirely base knockback, as the frame one gets him out of that usually pretty true combo, or at least a solid confirm.
Yeah, flutter jump armor truly goated. Truly
really
goated.
saving him so much. Blasting away with fireball, and 170. Z-Mine's got every inch out of that stock.
Oh, he accidentally turned it around. All right.
Damage is damage, and at the very least, a jab walk can make Z- panic a little bit more than he would have liked, given how he's in a pretty solid control right now.
Yeah, he's in a good place for where his damage is concerned. He's also controlling the pace of the match as far as forcing StudZ to constantly approach in on him. Like these dashbacks and then retaliating to whatever StudZ has to offer is really smart, especially when you consider how Luigi at his core is just a very reactionary character. Like you're only getting these stray hits and grabs off of however you make your opponent respond to stuff, and the plunger and fireball are just great tools to elicit those type of responses.
That clipped. That traded. Okay. Luigi Cyclone impresses to this day.
Dude, tangential interactions in this game are so odd. Like, there's so many weird little interactions that can happen if you're just barely clipped by a move.
Yeah, especially moves. I mean, still on the topic of Cyclone, like its added wind box can just make everything go a little bit funkier than you want. And messing up spacing in a game that is relatively fast is not ideal.
Bold. All right, StudZ went down deep there to intercept the green missile. Managed to get rewarded for it, although he finds himself eating some damage.
Man, I thought he was going to go right into Cyclone there. Nair out of combos into double jump Cyclone is both incredible and, if you're playing against it, infuriating.
Yeah, in spite of Luigi not sitting too highly upon tier lists, Luigi finds himself often as public enemy #1 just for frustrating people.
He's one of those characters that if you look at his kit, he's no better than Mario, if definitely a little worse because of his more linear game plan. But he is one of the highest X factors in this game because one touch can just kill you. Oh, okay. He didn't drop it down from ledge. You just grabbed it.
I actually kind of like that. Like in this tight situation like this, you do want to go for the safer options. You don't want to show your hand all too early. We got 2 minutes left on the clock. Both combatants at over 100%. Like any meaningful hit at this point is leading to disaster.
Yeah, Yoshi having a little bit of an edge in survivability thanks to his heavier weight, but approaching Luigi at death percent is just scary.
Ooh, hold up.
He still has his jump. Good
and
low
he
recovery.
Is safe.
Oh man, they're playing so much footsies. Z- hasn't thrown out a button in a hot minute, but that was
just
the
like
one.
You said it, and just like you said it, a wayward grab ends up whiffing. StudZ takes the lead. StudZ takes the stock. StudZ takes the set.